Good, great afternoon, evening, morning to ya. It's your gal. How does it find ya? It's Keely Taverner. Here, all things dealing with unnecessarily difficult people and how unnecessarily difficult people, if you're not careful, will rob you of your greatness, steal your energy, steal your passion. The next thing you know, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years later, you're still in it, baffled, wondering why you stayed so long. There's a seriously good reason why so many people end up staying so long, and my ambition is to help you understand it so you can make informed choices. Making informed choices is essential to your greatness, because with unnecessarily difficult people, there are a lot of dynamics at interplay. And a lot of those dynamics are unconscious and you don't know the waters that you're swimming in. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart and a like. Let me know I'm not alone out there. And my ambition is, as ever, to help people to become much more conscious of the unconscious dynamics at interplay so that you can make an informed choice moving forward. That's the game changer. That's always the game changer. Making informed choices so you know exactly what you signed up for. I got someone on my Facebook having a go at me, having a dig. Yeah, trying to push me buttons. You know what I'm saying? But she don't know. We don't take bait. We take flights. I'm not the one. She said, that's why you ain't got no views. I said, bless you. Thank you. Listen, as one of my favorite reggae artists his name escapes me, we don't do it for the love, we do it for the likes. So it is what it is. But understanding the unconscious dynamics at interplay with you and unnecessarily difficult people is so essential for your greatness. This is where you become empowered. And when you start to make certain choices, but fundamentally, you must remember, these folks trade on your feelings. They trade on your agreeableness. Everything that you stand for, they oppose. So you think kindness, be kind is gonna melt away the issues. Hashtag Houston, you have a problem, not them, because as long as you're functioning from that paradigm, they will continuously and consistently show you that it is not about that. It is always about them. Let me know if the internet is a good signal here, because sometimes it's not at this office. Sometimes I might have too many things on the devices. Actually, maybe I should turn the Wi-Fi off on here. So let me know what questions, queries you might have about unnecessarily difficult people, the people who get the best of you. And if you're not careful, it ends up with you becoming sad, depressed, lonely, and all up in your head, because you just can't work these unnecessarily difficult people out. And no matter how hard you try, you end up getting it wrong. My sister, my brother, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just you are throwing pearls after swines. It's not in their interest to get you. It's actually in their interest to make you doubt yourself, in order that over time they will have control and dominion over you. Remember, narcissism is about dealing with a psychological issue, a psychological, emotional issue, and it's not based on logic. This is why for so many of us who get into go down the rabbit hole of consistently researching. Do you consistently research? Are you forever Googling, trying to work out what the hell is going on in these people's heads? Trust me, you are not alone. You will want to research. Hey, Bali, how are you, my sister, my queen? You will want to research because it don't make sense. But what you're doing is, it's like Android phone and Apple phone. You're on two different frameworks. And often we're trying to put our framework against an individual who is deliberately and unapologetically all about getting their own interests served. So if it's about PTSD, for many of my empath crew, we have experienced severe trauma. Some of us have experienced complex trauma. And so it is my duty, my ambition to help my clients to understand their nervous system. And when we look at mental health through the nervous system lens, we must understand that your nervous system is working perfectly. It's doing exactly what dear God has intended it to do. Your anxiety is a perfect reflection of a nervous system that is working harmoniously. Your nervous system is there to protect you from danger. It's there to help you detect threat. It's all about safety and threat. And so for many of us, and this is unique to us, it depends on our story, depends on the kinds of environments that we grew up in, whether we were perpetually exposed to high risk situations where we were always anxious, always on edge. For example, if we grew up in a household where mummy and daddy were always kicking off and we never knew what to expect, nervous system is going to be activated. So often what happens if we end up, often, you know, it goes, we end up repeating patterns in our adult life with what is familiar from the past. This is the unconscious dynamic. This is why, my dear people, make sure when you are getting the assistance you need, you pay people who understand unconscious dynamics, understand nervous system, not that they did a little Udemy course for $14.99. That they've done their due diligence, so they understand the levels. Remember, someone telling us is not great for our greatness. This is complex issues. And it's often, and I say this all the time, it is not about the narcissist. The issues are showing up through our complex relationship with narcissistic individuals, but it's much more complex and can relate to our past, how we were raised, expectation and beliefs. You see, empaths, we can often be our own worst enemy. #/ looking at the man in the mirror. Yeah, we can often be our own worst enemy. And so the ambition is to help us, to shake us up, to wake us up. Now, I'm not the therapist for everybody, and I tell people that, oh, the FK, the body, thank you, man, loving the love, appreciate the love, it's lovely to know that. You know, sometimes when it gets down in the evening, it's time to do a live, sometimes you're like, cha, I could go home, you know. But this is a commitment that I made, and I want to make sure that I honor that. So you have to understand, there's nothing wrong with your nervous system. However, your nervous system, through overexposure to high-risk threatening situation, will become dysregulated. And so good therapy will be about helping you to understand some psychoeducation around what's going on in your body, so you can, you know, over time begin to make much more sense to yourself. We need you to make sense to yourself. And politically, for whatever reason, this isn't at the top of the agenda, helping people to understand trauma. What they constantly want to do is to get people to medicate for trauma symptoms and not help people to understand how best to understand what their body is going through. We are mind, body, spirit, everything is interconnected. There is much power in cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. You know, it can be beneficial, but we also have to look at you as a holistic individual. Families you're born into, class, culture, race, you know, where you live, access to opportunities. These are all, the demographics are all important aspects of who you are. So let me know what questions you may have. Remember, my peoples, you are not alone. And if you are struggling and you are still stuck researching narcissism, feel free, go to my bio, take my quiz, which is specifically designed to help you understand exactly where you're at in the process of research. Listen, you know I bang on about stop researching narcissism, because there's a deliberate reason I do so. Naturally, as a practitioner, I'm in the trenches. Every day I'm with my people, and clients keep informing me, key, I started researching narcissism again, right? So when we start researching, I believe it's also a part of us looking outside of ourselves for an answer. I think when we start researching, it's about what is the truth I'm experiencing, what is uncomfortable that I'm experiencing that maybe I don't want to advocate for me. Empaths, you know, and I know that we are not always so wonderfully great at self-advocation. Yeah? Am I lying? I ain't lying. So if you want to understand more about who you are and what the dynamics are with you and these unnecessarily difficult people, feel free, ask me your questions, do let me know. Because I know many of us love the moon, the stars and the sunshine and all that jazz, and, you know, the Libras in Jupiter. And I think there's a place for it, but sometimes I don't think there is actually a place for it. Sometimes we need to go back to the old school, sit down, let's have a word and try to make sense of it from a kind of like practical perspective. And then when you're ready, you add on, you know, the universe, the moon, the stars in Jupiter and all of that jazz, because this is complex and it links back. And I think I understand why people don't want to go there. But I also understand that when you don't, what often happens is this is where we repeat cycles. And I've worked with people from the grand age of 75 who've got to the point where they've had enough, down to people who are in their early 20s. You know, I get parents who want me to work with their kids. I don't work with kids. I like autonomy. And when you got to go through lots of other barriers, it's particularly tricky. But fundamentally, like I said, it's always about helping people to understand family. When do we cut them out? Depends on your situation. Depends on your situation. You see, sometimes you have to get to your break point. No one can, listen, let me tell you something. No one can tell you when to cut off your family or when to walk away from your family. No one has the right to tell you that, no matter what they're putting you through. I say this time and time again, no matter what, walking away, going no contact with family is tremendously difficult for people. Remember, when we stop and pull away from family, we will experience grief because it's the end of hope. Many of these relationships are hinged upon the hope of the empathic person because we have an idealized view in our mind's eye of how it should be, you see. So because we want relationships to be beautiful and loving and so on and so forth, and it's a beautiful thing, you know, I love my empaths, we love a fantasy. But the reality is, when we realize that our hopes are hopeless, and that if not everybody gets there, if we get to the point where we realize, actually, I haven't accepted people as they are and I've often wanted them to change, then what may happen is that triggers our grief process. And that can be tricky. This is why no one has the right to tell you to stop talking to family members. Now, if we love you, I am absolutely a registered psychotherapist. Go to keyforchange.com. If you actually pull away from family, it's going to be hard on you. And like I said, the end of hope means the triggering of grief and sadness and sorrow. Yeah, I'm a companion to many and like I said, the end of hope means the triggering of grief and sadness and sorrow. Yeah, I'm a companion to many and I'm walking folk through that journey. And it's okay. It's okay. It's not easy. Yeah, companion to many and I'm walking folk through that journey. And it's okay. It's okay. It's not easy. Yeah. And I think it's really important to say, we can Google all day long, but your circumstance is unique to you. It's unique to you. And so Google, your chat GPT might be telling you some lovely answers. Trust me. However, we have to get to the point where we may have exhausted all opportunities. You see, this is why I say to people, you have to trust the process. Now, sometimes I don't like the process, let alone trust the process. However, I believe in the process I must trust, Because if I do and I develop the courage to surrender my ego that wants life on my terms. I want life on my terms. How dare they do this? Why don't they love me? Why don't they want me? Not nice. Not good for my greatness. Not great for my greatness. If I surrender and I learn to let go and to accept situations as they are, knowing that I am in a tussle with myself, I may be privileged to get to a point where I know what I need to do. And then you've got a flash goal. What is a flash goal? I have no idea. A flash goal. Start a flash goal. I don't know. It went away. Yeah. View the flash goal. Free glitter. Send hand in 15 minutes. Okay. Pin. Achieve this goal when 3 glitter send hands. This is just too much going on this. Anyway. Right, so this is an opportunity for us to begin to self-advocate. And self-advocation for many of us empaths, because we believe in love, we believe in kindness, it's actually quite cataclysmic when we realize all of our great efforts, they don't matter. They are just here for themselves, just here to facilitate their specific need. And let's be frank, empaths, we have a need. We also have a need that we bring into the dynamic, and it's growing more conscious in our awareness of what are my intentions? Why do I need to go above and beyond? What is it about when someone demonstrates that they don't love me and they don't value me? Why do I hang on? Why do I try to convince people? We need to understand this. There's a solid reason you go above and beyond for people, but you have to understand what is that need meeting in yourself. And the more you can understand what need is being met in you, you might get your epiphany. That's what they've tapped into. Many of us may well carry an inferiority complex. If you know what I'm talking about, your heart, your like. We've never felt good enough. Never felt good enough in our skin. I see ya with my heart. Got any questions, ask you, go key. Because I could just wax lyrical. Yeah? We've never felt good enough. When you hear I've never felt good enough, meet many people, key, I've never felt good enough. What's underneath this is an inferiority complex that we've often carried all of our lives. And this is the part of ourselves that we need to understand. You see, many are called, few are chosen. And I understand why people don't always want to go here. But don't you truly want to live a good life? Don't you want to be authentic? Don't you want to truly be happy? Or you just want this superficial happiness? Because when you get that superficial happiness, don't worry, my dear friends, it will come back, creep up over you like a thief in the night. And this is how we then end up waking up one day, feeling sad, confused, and not really sure what's gone on. It's your girl, Keely Taverner, waxing lyrical as per usual, here on Monday night. Let me know what questions you've got about toxic relationships, but fundamentally and most importantly, how you break free and how you move on, because that is what I am fascinated by. You see, these calamity relationships can provide an unwelcomed opportunity for you to get to know yourself better. And should you take it as an opportunity to develop your self-insight and your self-awareness, I nor anyone else has no idea of who you might become. We need to reclaim our energy from one way, give your all, get back nothing in return relationships. If you can harness that into your own dreams and aspirations, who knows who you could be? Who knows what you might want to manifest? What is calling you? What do you love? What do you enjoy? Everything is energy, my people. And many of you in these one way, give your all relationships, your energy is being taken. Your energy is being plowed into situations, and what happens is you're caught in the loop. And if you continuously keep researching narcissism, I want you to go to my profile. I want you to take my 2-minute quiz. If you're stuck in the narcissism research loop, this will help you to understand where you're at on your journey. You need to understand where you're at. And you know what? It is what it is. We are where we are. I was research dependent once. I never looked within. I made it my ambition to understand that individual. Because if I understand them, then maybe I could find a way that I could make them become what I wanted them to be. I did not want to accept the person as they were. Because in my mind, I had an image of what I wanted them to be. Reality was very inconvenient. Used to do talks on inconvenient truths. So feel free, let me know what questions you may have about the situations you may find yourself in that are getting the best of you, that are testing you, that keep you up at night, that keep you Googling, searching, trying to find answers. But you already know the answers are within. The challenge you may have is you may not like the answers as they present themselves to you. And as such, you would rather research and try to understand somebody else than to take that telescope and begin to understand yourself, your drives and your motivation. You see, the challenge for many of us, if we have put a disproportionate expectation that the people around us who should love us, you see. We live in a hope that those relationships would be harmonious. And this isn't just whether you're dating narcissistic individuals. This translates across many realms. We hoped that people would value us. We hoped that people would appreciate us. But often what happened is people saw us as a doormat. They saw us as a soft touch. Some of us, we were at the bottom of the totem pole in our family. Our value was low. And the way we felt valued was by being helpful. My dear empaths, we are looking at a nature-nurture debate here. Is it our natural nature to be empathic and kind, or actually did we develop a quality and a skill in order to help us survive and remain attached to our parents? It's your girl, Kitty Taverner. You know I'm here, always happy to speak, to wax lyrical about the complexity of being in relationship with unnecessarily difficult people. But I am not here to collude with you. You know, I'm not the therapist to just sit there and head nod. I'm in the trenches with ya. And if for whatever reason, you know, my ambition is to help you understand yourself. Self-understanding. But we're going to have conversation. Barley, when you stop being a doormat, you see the true colours of people. Absolutely, but that is uncomfortable, right? I don't know about you, but when I stopped, I began to see how much the relationships were actually upheld and supported by me. And so actually, I had a currency when I was being a doormat. And when I no longer wanted to be, I was abandoned. And I was on my own, or punished and sanctioned. And that was even worse. You know, that can be very difficult, very trying, because it's not what you want, you know. You love people and you really hope that at some level that love would come back, that it was reciprocal. And I think over the years I've learned that I have to give that love and that sensitive part of me to the people that value me. And that's, that's exactly what I did this weekend. I spent time with my mentor, Miss Martins, and I spent time with my mum, the people who have my back unapologetically. Sometimes, giving that away to people who aren't worthy. But we have to understand our worth, and it is our duty to walk away from what is not love. I say to many of my empath crew, you're seeking love, and a lot of us got a love void from in our timelines, way down in our timelines. I believe my duty is to fold into love, and I don't believe that is a romantic love at this time in my life. I find much solace in feminine love from the females, a mothering love, a nurturing love. I find that a really safe love. Women upholding women at the current time of my life, but you never know who you might meet, you know what I'm saying? And the whole script changes. We give thanks for life, we give thanks for the complexity and the way that life twists, turns, and adapt. You have to learn to protect yourself, but Bali, the more you become conscious, you have to know when you're actually doing yourself a disservice. And sometimes we do ourselves a disservice, and it's okay if you know it. Right now, you might be doing yourself a disservice in life sometimes, but you don't lie to yourself. I tell people all the time, don't lie to yourself. That is actually much more likely to take you into a depressive state, because at some point you're going to get the bitch slap of reality, and then you're going to have to try to reconstitute the foolishness to push it down. For example, if you're selling yourself short and this ain't Mr. Right, it's Mr. Right now, don't lie to yourself. You be real with yourself and say, I know this ain't Mr. Right, this is Mr. Right now. Better you say that to yourself than trying to make a demolition project a work of art. Not great for your greatness. Self-protection is a must. And this is one of the reasons I say to people, I'm not the therapist for everybody. Because not everybody is a fan of self-responsibility. Not everybody likes self-responsibility. Because there is great value in blaming others. How did they do this to me? Look what they did to me. Look at all the loving things I did for them, and they've taken advantage of me. And I ain't saying there ain't value in that. There's value in that. However, we still made certain choices. Am I lying? I know I saw certain issues. I thought if I did the above and beyond thing, I could make a miracle happen. I realized I have an ego. And if I let my empathic ego go running riot, often it causes me problems. Hashtag not great for my greatness. And as a mother, wouldn't be great for my kids either. So I had to learn to stop it. I had to learn to accept people as they are. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a light. Let me know I ain't out here on my own. Because when we fail to see the writing that's on the wall, because it's inconvenient, because we got some dreams and aspirations in our mind's eye of perfect kingdom, then you leave yourself incredibly vulnerable. And this is why I say to folk, we end up doing it to ourselves. And if you've got any questions around that, or if you don't like what I'm saying, if what I'm saying to you is annoying, because I really fully appreciate how annoying it can be for people. And I fully understand why. It's like a lady that's cussing me on my Facebook page, talking about, what am I talking about? Are you victim blaming? I think, oh, whatever. Like there's our narrative, bless her. You're victim blaming. I think, sister, come back to me in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? When you're still there, hanging on, going above and beyond. It's not about saying we ain't victims. When we do not understand the waters we're swimming in, we unconsciously are making ourselves a victim. Questions and answers, Curtis. Any question, any answer, I'll wrap it on here about ego, your greatness, manifestation, dealing with toxic people, how to advocate for yourself. But if you, any topic related to psychology, how to become your greatest self, how to stop self-sabotaging. You see, because often the enemy is within. And what happens in our life is a reflection of the outside. We are manifestors. We are master manifestors. So we are manifesting the misery outside of ourselves. We're just not conscious about the choices that we're making that end up with us being miserable. My ambition is to unapologetically tell you how you did it to yourself and what you might need to do to jump out of it. Now, initially on the journey, it's not going to be comfy, because you're going to have epiphanies. You're going to see things maybe you don't want to see. I hope I go gently. Sometimes I'm not, because it's painful to witness. I'm in it with you. But I'm also mindful. I can't want for you what you don't want for yourself. You see, empaths, that's clear. You got to get these little nuggets in. You cannot want for somebody what they do not want for themselves. This is what we have issues with this one, empaths. If I want for you more than you want for yourself, the issue is not you, the issue is me. If I want more for you than you want for yourself, the issue. Now, empaths, remember this gully. If you want more for somebody than they want for themselves, you be careful, because that's going to take you into overdrive. Now you're in love with potential, not great for your greatness. Do you think we manifest if we are mentally groomed from a young age, especially inner city females? Bunny. Inner city females. I'm from Northwest 10 London, don't know where you are. But I mean, we are all a product. Thank you, Jane Moses. Hey, look at them numbers. TikTok gonna oh, bless you. Oh, wow. Oh, you make me go red. Thank you so much. Oh, much appreciated, Jane. Oh, look at that. That is so wonderful. As I would say, as a grassroots girl myself, I think, you cannot remove any human from the environment. We are all a product of our environment. Thank you so much. And, you can say groomed, you can say, engineered. You have to look at class, look at schools we went to where there was low expectation, feelings of inadequacy, race, class. All of these are important factors. So, it really depends on the uniqueness of the individuals, because a lot of inner city young girls are groomed by older men before they realize the mess. Yeah, I guess that can be a factor. It can be a factor. And, there's psychological issues like daddy issues. There's lots of factors. I guess to some degree it depends. Bunny, I'm not too sure whether that's a part of your story. And, I guess I know personally older men always seemed more attractive to my mind. Not too old, you know what I'm saying? But like if I'm 18 in the early 20s, you know what I'm saying? Not too much of a big gap. But yeah, there can be. But it's all unique. And I think that's the beauty of what I do. My mum says to me, how do you listen to people's problems every day? I'm like, Mum, I don't listen to people's problems every day. My mum's a grassroots mummy. We're grassroots people. And I don't listen to people's problems. I think I'm privileged to be trusted to be alongside someone as they work their lives out. And I might have some insights that might help them to go like, oh, okay, I see how I did that. I see how I do that to myself. So I think I'm very, very privileged to be able to help and be of assistance to someone who's trying to navigate and find their way. And naturally, it depends, let's be frank. Often people from the lowest stratas, you call it inner city people, may be exposed to more adversity, but it really varies. I work in two different areas. And let's be frank, affluent folk have, their own unique challenges. Certain needs have been met financially, but it doesn't mean, what would I say? I did a video on this, and in the video I said, don't assume privileged means psychological, emotional privilege. Privilege doesn't always mean that somebody is psychologically or emotionally privileged. So just for example, we know that there is boarding school syndrome for individuals, young people who are taken away from their families and put into private education establishments boarding away from home, we know that there is evidence to suggest that those boarding schools can also be ripe, fertile grounds for the development of narcissism, suppression of feeling, and so on and so forth. So we all suffer in our own unique ways, no matter the postcode. But we also know there are protective factors if certain basic needs are met. But that's the complexity of human nature. I hope that makes sense. I could go on about this all day long. I think you think where there's lack of accountability and cognitive dissonance. I've seen some of your posts. Yeah, Bunny, I do try, and I know I'm not for everybody. Naturally, this has been the way that has helped me to transform my life as someone who's come from, a very grassroots situation where the odds were stacked against me. Expectation was little, left school with nothing but some advice. Don't come back, go and find yourself a college. So, the reality is when the odds are stacked, there was little hope. But adversity was my greatest friend, and I was able to use adversity to my advantage. And so for many of us, when I was in the trenches, I didn't welcome it. I wasn't like, oh, wonderful, here I am at rock bottom, whoopee-doo. But actually, there is something about, for me, how my body's made, how my mind is weighed, that it helps me. It helped me to get really focused, because if I didn't fix up, this was going to be the trajectory for my life, and I wanted better for myself. However, I think once you've weathered the storm of people pleasing, you can smell manipulation a mile off. It takes time. Yes, it is, but I think as empaths, we also need to understand how we can also manipulate with kindness and going above and beyond this. As I said to many people, if you feel angry, resentful, or bitterness, then obviously you're giving with some sort of an agenda for reciprocity. And if the reciprocity is not reciprocating, Keely, stop making up your own words, then obviously you're giving with an agenda. So we must check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Sometimes I have to ask myself, what is my intention in giving? What is my agenda in giving? That way, if I get nothing back, I've checked myself before I wreck myself. I hope that makes sense, Bunny. Beautiful question, though. I love this. This is the levels I'm loving. Yeah. But I never, ever want my ego to get to the point where I think no one can't deceive me or tell me foolishness. You understand? I never want to get to that point, because that's actually, I think, the point where you become the most vulnerable. There are charlatans out there. There are people who are brilliant at it's what they do, it's what they've done, it's how they've survived all their life. And so it's about understanding that we may, yes, you get wiser, but it's also to understand that it's a part of life. You always have yin and yang in life. And none of us are angels either, Get away from that angel complex. I did a video today about the martyrdom complex. I think it's really important for us empaths to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Many of us picking up demolition projects. Sister, step away. Step away from project potential. No. See, a lot of that potential we fall for, I believe, but this is probably my cultural bias, is that I want to be a ride or die chick business. I want to be the girl that's got your back. So I'm going to be loyal to you and disloyal to myself, holding out for a miracle. Not great for your greatness, sister. 5 years, 6 years, 3 kids, 2 kids, debt later, you're still waiting for the miracle to transmute. Sorry, not sorry. We need to put in a bubble for protection from the jinnahs. Oh, the jinnahs, listen, we got to be careful. Some of us love a jinnah, Some of us believe we can make a bad man good. That's that Riri business. Good girl gone bad? No. No, good girl gone bad. Not great for your greatness. So we need to be mindful. Some of us need a steady eddy. Empaths, a lot of you out there need a steady eddy, but you're calling boring. And so, because he don't give you excitement and you don't have to chase, many of you empaths got men in your phone who like you and care for you and will put you first. But it don't come with no dramas, and you don't have to convince him that you're lovable. Some of us don't like them kind of guys. We find it repulsive. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a heart, give me a like. If you've blocked, delete someone who was nice and decent to you because the relationship wasn't full of frolics, mayhem, and let's just keep it politically correct. It's serious. Some of us love a bad boy. And I know I had that disorder, but I had to find a remedy. Quick fast. Quick fast. So let me know, it's 20:41. We've been on here 41 minutes. It's your girl, Keely Taverner. Let me know what questions, what curiosities you have. What's going on in your life? Who's getting the best of you? Who is making you stay up at night and you can't sleep? Bunny, you know that, sister. I love a steady Eddie nowadays. I love a little steady Eddie nowadays. I ain't even lying. I love them clever. I've realised I like them clever. They got to be clever. There's got to be a cleverness in them that I find pulling a very attractive quality and a trait. So let me know, my spirit peoples, what's getting the best of you? Are you feeling lonely? Huh? And it's okay to feel lonely. It's not easy out there. Being authentic and true to yourself is not easy because you will get backlash. You see backlash. What? When they want to punish you and sanction you for advocating for yourself after you've done read all your self-help books and you start to apply boundaries and then you get backlash. This is why I say to all my clients, I need to understand what power dynamics are around you, because these people will play on power dynamics to get you back in the box so they can carry on leeching and leveraging off of you so they can live their #best life, not great for your greatness. You know what I'm talking about. Understand, freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. You try, speak your truth. I tell many of my clients this, especially from culturally diverse backgrounds. Let's not do speaking truths. Let's exercise discernment. Speaking truth is not going to be wise in collective families. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like. Talk, my sister. Why are you made to feel guilty when you decide to have no contact with certain family members? Bali, you know I'm going to challenge the part of the sentence that says, why are you made to feel guilty? What we want to do is to notice that guilt arises. So I've made this decision and now I experience guilt. You want to learn to disassociate from the guilt. You want to learn to observe guilt rather than be enmeshed with guilt. If you enmesh with guilt, then it's going to bring you down. Oh, and remember, guilt is an uncomfortable, visceral, gut reaction emotion, and we want to free ourselves from it. Not great for your greatness. So you want to be able to notice, I observe, I notice, I feel guilt. And then maybe you want to get pen and paper. You know, should you get my journal, the Victories Journal, you can write down in your journal. You want to notice what your guilt is saying to you. You want to hear it because remember, we got inner self-talk. You want to start to listen keenly to what you say to yourself. Often, if you're not careful, guilt reflux will make you react, and we want to learn to respond. If you want to know more about where you're at on your journey with researching Awesome, go to my profile, get my quiz, 2-minute quiz to help you understand exactly where you are at on your journey of growth and transformation. If you're dependent on research, you keep researching, it's all good. You're just not ready for the change journey yet. You got to keep researching until you get to the point where you're like, ooh, ouch, 2 years, 3 years, ooh. Yeah, or the bafflement when you're like, I know all the answers already. You done watch every Dr. Ramney channel video going. You know it, you can quote it, you could write a thesis doctorate, huh? Anyhow, that helps. No, honestly, singledom is safe. I believe if you go into a relationship, you go vulnerable, you will be sister, bunny. Vulnerability is the key, my queen. Don't ever let no one steal your vulnerability. Your vulnerability is what makes you human. to risk again, to love again, to try again is what keeps us human. I never want no jinnal to ever have such power and dominion over me that I would never risk again, try again, and be vulnerable again. Love is a beautiful thing. It's a wondrous thing if you find somebody, the right person. I've seen wonderful marriages, wonderful connections, where those people have their own separate lives and they are interdependent. I think I've seen too many of us hurt and wounded by love who feel, and I understand singledom is wonderful. I do worry myself. You get into your own routines. I would never want to think that the calamities, remember, for some of us, we've got attachment issues, and life is an opportunity to work on your attachment issues. And so sometimes we'll have to get it wrong. And there is, and sometimes some people will be right for certain seasons and reasons in your life. And then it might be time to journey on. But never lose touch with your vulnerability. Bunny, you used the word jinnal. I'm assuming you may well be from the Caribbean diaspora. When I hear the word jinnal, I think of the island of my mother's home, Jamaica. If I'm right, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a head nod, let me know I'm on the right path. And remember, culturally, there's a conditioning which is that you must stay strong all the time. Not great for the greatness. We want to learn how to be vulnerable. We want to embrace vulnerability. The strong black woman syndrome is not helpful. It often can be linked and is rightfully linked to the angry black female stereotype. If I'm wrong, Bunny, and you're one of my fellow English sisters, I do apologize. I guess the word jinnal struck me. Never lose touch with your vulnerability. It dehumanizes us. It dehumanizes and defeminizes us as well. People don't like the truth sometimes. However, when you get to the stage where you can't be asked, it's liberating. Absolutely. I think one of the reasons I have been, successful in private practice is people are like, I heard you're a bit different, and you just say it as it is. And I think I've always preferred that. I'm not very good with just the kind of head nodding and how does that make you feel? Like, nah. Sometimes I need to be told. I need a little bit of direction. I need a little bit of finger in face. I need to be told straight, especially if I don't see it. Especially if I don't see it. Amen. I love this chicken. Girl, you talking what's missing in sisterhood circles. I love this chicken. Girl, you talking what? I'm not sure about sisterhood circles. Diane, let me know if you. I've done healing circles. We do them on my retreats, to be able to facilitate and hold space. It's a gift. It's a true gift, and it's the greatest honor. It's a true gift. I'm at stonewalling. It took me 5 years to get here. Yes, stonewalling. My sister Bunny, you're on your journey. You're on your journey. You're on your journey right now. Sounds like self-protection SOS. I wrote an article about that. Actually, I must tell my assistant to post that article. It's listen, if you haven't been to the website, please go to my website, keyforchange.com. Do consider signing up. I got tools, skills. I write, I wax lyrical. Self-protection SOS is so essential, especially if you've got attachment issues and you keep going from car wreck, relationship, mayhem relationship. We have to pay attention to ourselves. But if now you're at a point where stonewalling is working for you, it is what it is. In the process, we must trust. Have you had therapy, my sister? Have you considered therapy? We have community. Key for Change has the Navigate Narcissism Now community. I do encourage you to think about whether it's time for you to invest in yourself. But if not, do go to my bio, take my quiz. Stuck researching narcissism. I guess I'm not there, not yet, but you're growing in consciousness. I agree. My parents have been together for 55 years. Britt-Ann, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Isn't it beautiful? I still believe, my dear brethren Jenny, God rest her soul, a beautiful marriage. A beautiful marriage. Now, I'm not saying everything was perfect. I have no idea. But that's sometimes you see people together and you think that's what it looks like, and I've just not been blessed to be in that situation, but it's beautiful to see it when it does shine. And for me, it's a beautiful reminder of, yeah, that's what I would like it to look like, You're smaller, you're island people. You're still island people, man. It don't matter the island, man. You're island people. We have island psychology. Bunny, that's beautiful. I'll check it out. My dad helped me to get there. I had 3 bouts of therapy. I got tired of therapists purely because I saw they couldn't understand or relate. Yeah. Getting the right fit is like a good pair of shoes, sister. You got to get the right... It's like a good pair of jeans. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you got to try the right jeans. Some of them have got too much crutch. Some of them just got too much crutch. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what the hell am I supposed to be putting in this crutch? Getting a good therapist is like getting a right pair of jeans. I used to love a Bailey's jeans from Dorothy Perkins. Stretch jeans fitted me perfect. You know when the crutch sits nicely. Jesus Christ, man, I've never been able to find a jeans like it, man. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, let me know. Give me a heart, give me a like. Finding a good therapist is like finding a good pair of jeans. For all the ladies out there, just walk into a shop, pick up a pair of jeans and you're gone. You don't even know the pressure to find a good fitting, nicely jeans. And then when the shop closed, you think, I should have bought 25 pairs. It is what it is. Life is real out here. You know what I'm saying? It's your girl, Kitty Taverna. It's 20:52. I'm going to see my mum tonight. Bless her spirit. I was at my mum's last night. My mum's been on auto repay for her car insurance for the past 10 years. And I had a look. I was like, Mum, they're charging you nearly £1,400. Mum didn't even know that she'd been taken for a right ride. And now I've had to get involved. Bless our parents, our aging parents. I don't know if anybody else is having it. The woman has been on auto renew for the past, 10 years? I'm like, Mum, I did a quick search. £500 I found the insurance for. 500. We got to look after our elders. You see, empathic people. We got to put the energy in the right people. Who are the people you need to lean into? Who are safe for you? Who are kind to you? Who have your best interest at heart. Sometimes I'll be running after Big Dick Derek trying to make him love me and value me, And all the while there's good, solid people, my Jenny, my Esme, my Lara, who've nurtured me and encouraged me, and I ain't got time because of what? Trying to convince people who don't see my value and worth of how worthy I am. We had to wake up, but different seasons, 47 in life now. Happy to kind of just chill, go home and put on the electric blanket. I love an electric blanket. Jesus Christ, man. It's the way to go, innit? Especially if you're single. Bunny, if you know what I'm talking about, go find a little electric blanket, keep you warm in the little winter. Anyhow, it's your girl, Keely Taverna. Digressing a little bit, but we keep it ultra real around here. Yes, I am a qualified psychotherapist, but fundamentally, I'm the daughter of Charlie and Joyce, and we just love to keep it real. Life is happening to all of us out there. Please do share this live. TikTok is telling me to do so. Oh, Marciblo shared my live. Thank you very much. If anything I've said to you has resonated with you, and if you're struggling and you're battling and you're getting to the point where maybe you've tried other therapists, and you've kind of got to a point where you doubt it and you're on your own. Listen, let me tell you something, yeah. Risk again, try again. If you get that good fit, Bunny, it's like that good pair of jeans. You know what I'm saying? It all fits so nicely. Let me know if you need to talk with me. Go to keyforchange.com. You can find my team there. We're always happy to be of service. I can vouch for it. Keely is not like any other therapist. She is amazing, my sister B. I love how you just always been so lovely of me, Always been so honouring. I hope life is treating you kindly. Feel free to send me a voice note. Let me find out how life is treating you. Bless your soul. Yeah, many, many moons ago. My sisters, my people's life ain't easy, And we're all finding a way to work it out. There are no clear roads. I'd like to think that I'm a companion to people at certain particularly difficult spots in their life where maybe what they're doing is no longer working and the way forward is unclear. I'm not backwards at coming forwards, and I'm not the therapist who's just going to passively sit there, nod their head and so on and so forth. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm in the trenches with you. I am passionate about potential, and I also understand how love and relationships, family dynamics, culture, class, expectations can be incredibly difficult to navigate. I grew up in Brett, one of the most culturally diverse areas, I think, in the whole of the UK. I know about Diwali. Diwali is here. Rangoli, patterns in every house. Yes. So, you know, understanding diversity in terms of, I guess, you know, I'm obviously naturally, I'm regarded as diverse. I have a black mummy who has dreadlocks, and I have an English father, a bit of a David Rodigan kind of figure. So it is the basic tenets of how I grew up, with confusion, finding clarity, being sent back to the Caribbean, which gave me a solid underpinning. It's good to go back to the land of our forefathers. It gives you a solid grounding. Increased, broader horizon and different way of thinking. So I'm really honored to be entrusted with people's curiosities about life and what is happening to us. Trust me, you are not alone. We all battle. A lot of people out there putting on pretty face and acting like this, that, the other. You see, look at me, look at all my hair fluffs up there. You see what I'm saying? I'm not someone who's sitting going to contour for a life. I'm just going to come on and keep it real, because, well, that's what I think is all about, being authentic. So if you are curious and stuck researching narcissism and you want to understand a little bit more, feel free, go to my profile and take my quiz. If you're stuck researching narcissism, my ambition, as always, as ever, is to help you to be helpful, actually, to be helpful. So you get to overstand yourself and where you're at in your process. Delicious. Booking my call with you soon, my love. Soon. That's what my daughter's dad used to say when I was waiting for back to school money. He said, soon come. Delicious, I would say to you, set a date. So you give yourself a focus and a target. It's a bit like a sat-nav. Yeah, this is one of the ways we self-sabotage. We don't commit to a date. I remember when I used to work at Wormwood Scrubs prison, pick up all the man them, A wing, C wing, B wing, D, right? You know it goes, right? And what I realized is I wanted to come out of the jail, but I would never set a date. I'd be like, oh, next month I'll leave, 6 months I'll leave. And then my coach said to me, you have to set a date, Keely. When you set a date, you then hone in and your brain can refocus on a specific time frame. And then you start to, it does your, so what I'm saying to you is, booking my call with you soon, my sister. Get a date in mind. Keely, I will book my call with you by the 22nd. Very different psychology. Then your head has 8 days. You know, then you have 8 days. This is how we manifest as well. When you want to manifest, you have to get clear on the target. Then your brain can focus. This is how I got off IKEA checkout tills and got myself to the point where I'm pretty blessed. I'm doing well for myself. You understand? I ended up in my handy house. Thank you. You helped me a lot. Just one dissension did so much. Amen. Masibilo. Thank you, my sister. I'm not sure who you are with the name, but I know we will do on incognito online. I want to take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for engaging with me. Thank you for your hearts. My lady who gave me a bag of roses, beer roses. I got 33. TikTok says that my goal is 39, but nevertheless, I got another one. Masiba, give me another one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Listen, my people, you are not alone. The struggle is real, and there is always a way. There is always a way for many of us. Thank you. 33. I'm just 6 away from my goal of 39. TikTok sent me a goal. Any of you want to give me a heart, a rose, or something or other? Come on, we're trying to get up to 34. 34, going up 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Come on, let's get them roses up there. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. You know what? I should work at car auctions, you know. I think I would do very, very well. Oh, Masibo. My peoples, thank you so much. I don't know if I've reached it. It keeps saying 33. I feel like I've been skanking people, like I've been saying the wrong number, but I don't know where TikTok is cutting it. 32. I think I've achieved 32. 32 gifts. Oh my gosh, is this too much? It makes me smile. Thank you, my people. Oh, look at that. Jane is giving me roses. Thank you, Jane Moses. Ishi Girl Keely Taverna. I'm here just representing all of us who are going through life, who are keeping it genuine, keeping it real, because trust me, it ain't easy out there. Yeah. And people will target us for our niceness because we are valuable. Imperfect people, you must remember how valuable, you know, because you know when we're on someone's team, we give heart, we give commitment, and our loyalty is what they target us for. My life goal has been achieved. Yay, Moses. To all the people who have bigged me up. Ah, look at the little rain. It's raining. We give thanks and praise. You see what happens? That's what I did, right? The lady was talking about setting a target, come and see me. The subscription said 39, right? So then I started to encourage you guys to like, And it's the same when you want to manifest. You focus in on the thing that you want for yourself. Focus in. Remember, focus on what you can change and what you have power over. Not Big D Derek. Sorry, not Big D Derek. What you have power over. And I guess one of the sad things, one of the unintended consequences of me being driven and achieving my dreams and ambitions is, unfortunately, I personally find that I intimidate people, and it's not my stuff. It's their stuff. My love interests, I think they're a little bit intimidated by the movements, you understand? What can we do? Sharp Pink, what can we do, man? We're just out here living life, innit, Sharp Pink? I see you out there making moves, my queen. Look at you now online, showing up, showing out, rocking the masses. Oh, you make my heart warm. So I want to thank you all for your encouragement, for your support, for your hugs, for your likes, for your questions. If there is anything that you want to go into further detail with me about, feel free, inbox your girl Key. So do take care of you, because if you don't, no one is coming to save you, my queens. We must save ourselves.